Hallelujah. Something major is going to happen to you and everyone that is watching from around the world. 2 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 6. Let's begin there. Glory be to the name of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Yeah, you can read.
For God,
and good morning, guys, thank you. Yeah.
For God, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, has shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ.
And verse 7.
But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of power may be of God and not of us.
Okay. Whatever it is that God dropped in our heart is a treasure. Is a treasure. And we have it covered in this our earthly body, this physical body, the earthen vessel. Somebody asked me once, what is that thing that he dropped? There's an impregnation. There is an incarnation. There is something he dropped inside us. God, who commanded light to shine out of darkness, has shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ. And that investment, that deposit he made in us is a treasure. It is wrapped up in this physical body, in this earthen vessel. And that's why sometimes we ignore it, we despise it, we don't know who we are. We walk around thinking we are ordinary people. And then we underperform because our perception is based on the clay, not based on the investment within. We look at the clay. We see the physical body. We'll go to the mirror and look at that, earthen clay. And then you describe yourself based on that. Our discussion this morning is on personal transformation. Now, that is so important in this season because personal transformation is the basis for national transformation. If you don't get that one, you can't get the other one. If you want to change a nation, change the people. If you want to have a brand new country, have a brand new people. And that was why God came into this earth to change the world, and he sent Jesus to begin by changing mankind, by bringing the message of the new birth. When he said you must be born again, he's talking about personal transformation. At the core of it is, at the foundation of it, is the regeneration, the recreation of the human spirit. And anytime there is need for transformation, it means that something has gone wrong. Something got damaged. That's why God is pursuing a new program. You don't want to change a society that is good, that is working. You want to change the one that is not working. You don't want to transform a business organization that is working. You want to transform the one that is not working and make it to begin to work. I'm going to drop serious bombs here this morning, and then we're going to get into some discussion. So, Pastor Ben, let me ask you. And get your mic. Make sure your mics are working. Which one came first? Darkness or light in the creation of the universe? Put back verse 6. Let them be looking at it while they answer that question. Which one came first? Was it light that gave birth to darkness, or was it darkness first and then came out light? Answer whatever, and there's nothing wrong with whichever.
From the record of Genesis, chapter 1.
And we can go there. Genesis chapter 1 from verse 1.
Chapter 1 from verse 1. The Bible says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Then verse 3 said, and God said, let there be light. And there was light. So the first thing God made was light.
Okay, light first before darkness.
Darkness was there.
So he made light first before the darkness.
Yeah, because in the absence of light, usually you have darkness.
He's using philosophy. It's a straightforward answer, Pastor Leon. You can read back what he read, verse 1, 2, and 3. Start from verse 1. Which one was there first?
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light, and there was light.
Okay. So which one was first, darkness or light?
According to Genesis chapter 1, verse 2, it was darkness.
Darkness was first. Darkness is older than light. It's a simple thing. There's no question about it. Darkness was older than light. It was there first. And if light was first, there would be no need to create it. Problem was there first, so God had to create solution. And in every transformative work, you start by problem identification. Don't start a business by just bringing out solution. Start a business by doing market analysis and discovering the problems in the environment that are not being solved. Either they are being poorly solved, so you want to take that solution to the next level. At their restaurants, the foods are not good, but you want to go into restaurant business. Or that there are no restaurants. When people are looking for where to eat here, they don't find. They have to go very far. You don't start a ministry with solution. You start a ministry by identifying problems. Any move to change anything, to transform, must begin by identifying problems. It's the same thing with your personal life. If you want to have a personal transformation, you must first of all do analysis of where you are. That's discover where you are before we now talk about where you go, where you want to go. Hello? So a vision is developed from problems. It is the condition that is not working that forces you to now see a new reality. You heard that necessity is the mother of invention. Innovation is as a result of problems, as a result of things that are not working. That is where the starting point is. But let me ask you another question. Darkness was older than light because light was the innovation that solved the problem of darkness. Light was the solution that solved the problem of darkness. Darkness was the problem in existence. Light was the solution. But let me ask you, between light and God, which one was first? Look at it. You can read it again. Who was older? Was it God or darkness? What do you think, sir?
According to Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, it says in the beginning, God. The personality of God is introduced at the beginning. So God first, before even the darkness.
Okay. What do you think, sir? Don't worry,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think the same way. God was before darkness.
It's not just that God was before darkness. It's a fact. The answer is correct. God was before darkness. But because of darkness, it is possible for you to be looking at a dark thing and not see that spark. that gem that has the power to transform every other thing for you. You might be looking at your circumstances and not see the seed that can create the solution. You see, when David was confronting Goliath, there is a tendency to look at the bigness of Goliath and forget how big God is and how powerful He is. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying? I'm here this morning to get you out of those problems. I'm here to help you shift from all those things that are disturbing you, that's troubling you, bothering you, depressing you, pressing you down, out to the next phase. Oh, Lord. Before there was a problem, there was a solution. You know, the people who don't want to recognize that it was God that created the universe, they call it Big Bang. You ask them what sparked the bang. They say it was just one small explosion, one tiny. You ask them, there is a law of cause and effect. What caused the explosion? God, who commanded light to show up out of darkness. That same God has done the same thing in our hearts, Pastor Lemon. The same process has happened in our hearts. The old one was to create the universe. This one is to create the new creation. And what he had in mind when he was creating the new creation is to create a God, to create his likeness, to create his image. Somebody that is capable of handling anything. Somebody that can begin with nothing and end up as something. Somebody that can also speak and change his world. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying? Hey. Well, okay. Let's calm down and take it slow. It's not just that God was there before darkness. The scripture also said that the Spirit of God had darkness under control. It was hovering over the waters. There was water. There was darkness covering the water. The deep, there is water. The earth was brought out of water. Just like you came out of water. You don't know? You used to have that tail and you were a swimming organism in your mother's womb. You even had things that look like fins. And you lived in an ocean. And that ocean was covered with darkness. Do you know where you came out from? A pitch darkness. No atom of light there. Yet existing inside that darkness was life. Do you know where you came out from? The womb. Just like the womb was a sea of fluid, amniotic fluid they call it, a sea of fluid covered in pitch darkness. That's how the universe was a sea covered in pitch darkness. But inside that darkness there was life. That life was what exploded and metamorphosized into the universe. Because there was God. And in that darkness of the womb was you. Oh, you came through a long process to get here. So don't allow any devil to take you out here. You conquered 1,000,000 demons, 1,000,000 darkness to get here. There is no darkness, external darkness that can stop you now. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Let me keep that because there is. I need to take you through a process first. Lord. It doesn't matter what the external looks like. It can be changed. It can be changed. To start with, let's start with what is transformation. Give me your definition, Pastor Ben.
Okay, the dictionary meaning of transform, that word transform, means to change radically in inner character, condition, or nature.
Okay, to change radically in inner character, condition, or nature. Yes?
Because he has given that definition, there's a word called metamorphosis.
Exactly, sir. Go ahead.
The process of change, there's an insect, I believe, there's a process where it changes, and so biology, we call it metamorphosis. It changes from the egg and finally becomes the butterfly.
Yes, the larva.
That process, that change process is what we call a transformation.
That's the exact word in Greek, is metamorphosis. To metamorphosize is to change from one form to another. And the change is such that when it completes, you cannot compare the two anymore. For example, look at a butterfly. When a butterfly is born, it's a maggot. It's a larva. It crawls. It doesn't fly. It doesn't look beautiful. It even has spikes. But then a process is going on inside that larva that is called metamorphosis. When it completes, the butterfly pushes off the cocoon and comes out and is flying. And it's a beautiful flying insect. When you now get a butterfly and keep it here and get a larva and keep it, there is no comparison. This one crawls on leaves and it will just be eating. This one is a beautiful nectar-sucking, honey, whatever sucking insect. This one can't fly, this one can fly. Look at another example. When an eagle is born, when it comes out of the womb of his mother, it's an egg. When the process of metamorphosis completes itself, you have a flying, powerful bird. Look at the egg compared to the eagle. Yeah, that was an eagle. It's so serious that even this one doesn't have eyes. Who told you it doesn't have eyes? The eyes are inside. Look at it. It doesn't have wings. It can't fly. You throw it on the floor, it breaks. Can you imagine dropping an eagle? It takes off. This one, gravity pulls it down. The other one overcomes gravity. That's the difference between a believer and the final product when he subjects himself to metamorphosis. Everywhere you like, compare these processes. Nothing is the same when it appears first. A tree is born as a fruit or a seed. Can I pick an orange seed here and keep it here and compare it to an orange tree? They don't look alike. Where are the leaves here? Where is the root here? Where is the trunk? Take that same seed, plant it in the ground, allow the process of metamorphosis, transformation to happen. You come out a few, maybe some, this metamorphosis, some take shorter time, some take longer time. Egg is 21 days. It becomes a chicken. Then a couple of weeks, it becomes a full-grown bird. Some take longer. Elephant is 2 years. That's the gestation period. You give birth to a baby elephant. A couple of months and years, it becomes a full-blown elephant. All of us arrive as seed. And usually planted in the midst of darkness. Where metamorphosis takes place, there is darkness there. A seed is planted in the soil, covered, so it can be in darkness. Because darkness is where you incubate creativity. Darkness is where you incubate a future. Darkness is where you incubate what you are supposed to be. It's in the midst of problems. It's in the midst of challenges that greatness is born. Don't think that the problems you are facing are meant to destroy you. They are meant to challenge the potentials you have within you. They are meant to activate you to begin to see a new vision, to begin to catch a new direction, to begin to get new breakthrough ideas. Potential does not come out until problems puts a demand on it. Necessity is the mother of invention. Behind every problem, there is an equal opportunity for advantage. Great prosperity is created from great shortages. Have you noticed that most of the wealthiest men on earth, billionaires, millionaires, most of them are first generation rich? As a matter of fact, most of these ones that inherit were the end up dying poor. Usually they don't know how to manage it. There is a smaller percentage of those who inherited it that also do well. Dangote did not start with $1 billion. An uncle gave him 500,000 naira, not up to $1 million. It did not start with industries. It started with trading, dealing with commodities. Most of the billionaires and billionaires are first generation rich. They did not inherit the wealth. If not, there won't be that push that makes a baby come out of the womb. There won't be that push. There won't be that thing that makes babies, after a while, they kick in their mother's womb. They kick. That tiny thing is now learning to kick. And the mother will feel it moving. And then one day, it's going to put a pressure on the cervix. It's going to put a pressure. Who tells a baby to move? Who tells the seed how to break that same soil that covered it and germinate? The reason God allowed the circumstances you are going through is to put pressure on you, to press. There is a demand that you need to make on the potential that you are carrying. What is it that you are carrying? The same word that God spoke that created the universe is what He planted in you. God, who commanded light to shine out of darkness, has shined in our heart. The same power that made the universe resides in you. Guess where God lives? Inside you. Guess who He made you? In His image, with His abilities. Guess who you are? A creative genius. Guess what you are capable of more than the universe can contain. It is like the darkness covering our nation. Political darkness, economic darkness, all of these things that everybody's complaining about. My friends, don't look at things the way the natural man, average Nigerians look at it. The problems, the failures of the politicians are the opportunities of the Christians. The failures of government is the opportunity of the church. There won't be need for Jesus if Adam did not fail. That idea that you have, there will be need for it if all the problems have been solved. That vision you have, there will be no need for it if all the problems have been solved. Problems is the mother of vision, is the mother of purpose, is the mother of solutions. I said darkness came first before light. It wasn't just darkness, Pastor Lewo, the scripture said the earth was without form and void, shapeless. Then darkness was, the problem was so bad. And then darkness was on top of it. Okay. There are two kinds of darkness. Maybe I should tackle that now. In Genesis chapter 1, in day 1, God created light. And maybe we should say it. Verse 3 said, and God said, let there be light. And there was light. Verse 4, and God saw the light that it was good. God divided the light from the darkness. And then, verse 5, and God called the light day, and darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. So the first thing God created, anytime you want transformation, the first thing you need is light. Introduce light. So there are two kinds of light, just like there are two kinds of darkness. There is physical darkness, but there is mental and spiritual darkness. The second one, the mental and spiritual darkness, is a force. Is real. Physical darkness is not real. Physical darkness is actually a shadow. When did God create physical light? On day 4. Go down to verse 14. Now, on verse 14, that is day 4, God said, let there be lights. You see, this one, lights, he's talking about the sun, the moon, the stars. The one he created before was light. It's one thing. Now, today, day 4, God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days, and for years. And verse 15, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And verse 16, and God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, that's the sun, and the lesser light to rule the night, that's the moon, and he also made the stars also. Now, when you stand in the day, Pastor Ben, and you are facing the sunlight, and the sun casts its light on you, there is your backside where you are blocking the light of the sun. So because you are blocking the light, what happens is that a shadow is created at your back. It's not real. That shadow is not real. What is real is you, and what is real is the sun. 2 things are real. The sun and his light is real. You, the object, is real. Your shadow is not real. Is something that was created because you are blocking sunlight. If somebody takes bright light and go behind and shine, it vanishes. Actually, once you even shift your position, it disappears. Some of you are still not getting it. Do you know how physical darkness is created? When the sun, because some of us think it's the sun that is rotating. It's not. It's us that is rotating and revolving around it. The sun is shining. And our earth, half of our earth is in the direction of the sun. The people that live there have day. Because the earth is like a football, it's spherical. The part that is blocked, just like you block your backside, that is blocked away from the sun has darkness. It's shadow. That you see in the night is shadow. It's the shadow of the earth. So as the earth is turning now, when it turns and is facing the same side that was dark, it turns and is facing the light. Guess what happens? The people that were in darkness are now in day. So God named the 2 processes, which is happening every 24 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, the problems you are facing, some of these problems that are physical and they are not real. Just turn that side in the direction of light. Turn it in the direction of light. Turn it in the direction of light. Every problem is a wisdom problem. Every problem is an idea problem. Every problem is a knowledge problem. That's why your God is a God of wisdom. He said, how did God create the earth, the universe? Proverbs chapter 3, verse 19 and 20. Please show us. When we think about God's creative power, we only think about his omnipotence. He just spoke and it happened. No, God used technology to create the earth. Look at it. The Lord, by wisdom, founded the earth. There's something, it's knowledge. That original light was knowledge. That original light was an idea. That original light was revelation. The original light was not physical light. And to start transformation, that's what you need. What does the Bible say? Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Not by dancing and shouting in the church. Not by falling and rising. Hey. How does a human being get transformed? Romans chapter 12 from verse 1 to 3. I beseech you by the mercies of God, and you present your body as a living sacrifice. That's the physical part. Holy and acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. Then what do we do with our insight? Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Keep that verse 2 there for a while. Just for a while. How do you change a human being? Turn his mind in the direction of light. What type of light? Sunlight? No. Torchlight? No. Lamp light? No. Candle light? No. What light? The light of knowledge. The light of knowledge. The light of revelation. The light of illumination. That's why a breakthrough, the definition of breakthrough, you say your life have changed, circumstances have changed. It's not defined from circumstance. A breakthrough is not defined from the circumstantial realm. There is a realm that causes the physical to change. You change the mental and the spiritual, the physical corresponds. So this is how a breakthrough is defined. A breakthrough is a sudden outburst of light that causes you to break forth beyond your former limitation. You have circumstances limiting you. You have problems facing you, and you don't know what to do. But now there is a sudden outburst of revelation. There is a sudden outburst of idea. There is a breakthrough knowledge, a breakthrough idea. It happens in the mind, and once it happens in your mind, you use your leg and push down your Goliath and pass through. You use your leg and kick down the door and walk through. That thing that happens in the mind propels you out of the womb of your dark world. Hello. There is another type of darkness. This darkness is real. This darkness is real. The darkness in the womb is not shadow. It's not shadow. A complete darkness. It's absolute darkness. The darkness that was in the universe before God created light, the original light, was no shadow. That's why that darkness has force. And it can dominate a man and cripple that man. And it has power to make you like it. That's why the Bible talks about the forces of darkness, the power of darkness. That Christ has delivered us from the dominion of darkness and translated us into the kingdom of his of light, the kingdom of love, the kingdom of his dear son. Hey. The darkness that is real is spiritual darkness. The darkness that is real is mental darkness. The darkness that is real is ignorance. The darkness that is real is deception. If you conquer it, you can conquer anything. Because it is when a man first sees himself out of that he bursts forth into creativity. He bursts forth into illumination. He bursts forth into revelation. He bursts forth into innovation. He bursts forth into solutions. He bursts forth with new possibilities. What is holding you is not the external circumstances you are seeing. You are seeing those ones are shadows. What is holding you is failure to get in touch with breakthrough ideas, failure to get in touch with revelation, inability to see possibilities. When you are blinded mentally, that's when you are blind indeed. Oh, before I come back to Romans 12 verse 2, our Proverbs chapter 3 verse 19 and 20, let's look at it one more time. The Lord by wisdom founded the earth. By understanding, he established the heaven. So if you want to know what the original light was, see what it was. Verse 20, and by his knowledge, the depths broke up and the clouds dropped down the dew. So if you see rainfall, evaporation, and like I like to say, renation, is technology. If you see germination, it's technology. If you see fertilization, it's technology. If you see growth, it's technology. God is not just a scientist, he's the mother of it. That's why those, when you go to school, you learn a few small things. You think knowledge gets into your head. You want to be rebellious to God. You think you have no more than your creator. You're a joker. You're like a child they sent to nursery school. He learned nursery rhymes. And he came back to challenge his parents. The scripture said, in him dwelleth all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. So our God does not just have power or is all-powerful, omnipotent. Our God is omniscient. He has all knowledge, all wisdom, and all knowing. There are some problems that requires power, that requires energy, that requires force. There are many problems that requires wisdom, that requires ideas, that requires technology, if you will, systems, if you will, processes. Now, first of all, Romans chapter 12, verse 1, verse 2 particularly said, and be not conformed, you see, to this world, but be transformed. So, if you're not being transformed, you're being conformed. And what are you being conformed to? The world and its system. You see what the problem is? Let's look at it from two angles. Number one, before you do transformation, there is an existing form that you want to change. What is the present form of the earth before God changed it to this beautiful paradise that we have? It was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. What is the present form of your life? If there is nothing wrong with your form, you don't need to change it. Ask that question in your notebook and do some analysis, problem analysis. The human form got damaged with the fall of man. What happened to Adam? You remember that? Some problems came into this world that was not there. The original form that God made didn't have any problem. Adam, through his disobedience, brought a lot of problems here. And the problems are many. Which of those corrupted form, darkness form, if you will, problem-oriented form do you need to tackle? Which one? Which one? You might be dealing with a form of poverty. Please, gentlemen, let's look at some bad forms some people are living in. Let's look at some possibility before we go to solution. Yes, Pastor Ben. What can be wrong in a person's life? Because what we are trying to help you to see is, you need to see what is wrong. But if what is wrong is all you see, your vision is darkness. When you finish seeing what is wrong, you have seen an opportunity, a huge opportunity for change. Stop thinking. Convert all your problems to opportunities. Stop seeing your problems as, a final sentence. Like you are sentenced, you are finished. All your opportunities, all your problems are opportunities for greatness. Remember, like what we said in the womb, that is dark, but inside there is that fertilized egg. A lot of people don't know that just like the universe was a womb in pitch darkness, covered with water and darkness, and it was there God planted the creative word that produced creation, what you see today. And your mother's womb, a woman is a mystery. Your mother's womb is another world, is a womb covered in pitch darkness, covering the water, what you call the amniotic fluid. And it was there God planted another creative seed that produced you. That's how it is. Your present life might be a dark, formless shape. I know there are children here, but I don't want to. There is a creative idea coming into my spirit by the Holy Spirit. I don't know whether I should say it, What happened is that the womb has a part called the fallopian tube. What drops from the fallopian tube is egg. When that egg drops, this is the process happening inside darkness. Pitch dark. This is how it was in the universe then. That fallopian tube is what, releases eggs, and it releases it monthly. That's why women have what they call cycles, monthly cycles, menstrual cycles. That egg, Pastor Ben, cannot become life unless it is fertilized by a seed. So when God designed the woman and designed the opening through which sexual intercourse happens, it's just for seed to be introduced. This is how the human being is designed, Pastor Ben. Your soul, your spirit, releases egg every month. Your own probably is much faster because it can release. Men create sperm every day. Women, once a month, they release their egg. 28 to 30 days for women. Men is every day. The man can finish having sex now. In the morning, he has regenerated. He's ready. That's why one man can marry 1,000 women and survive. Solomon. And men keep creating that till death. There's no end to that. Women get to a point, it stops. That's how your inward man is designed, Pastor Ben. There's something you release monthly, weekly, daily, sometimes hourly, an egg. Do you know that the church, in relation to Jesus, is the bride, is a woman? But that egg needs a word. The seed of God is his word to fertilize it. That's what I've come to do this morning. The church is a womb. And people walk in their eggs. They can walk out if only the church offers only entertainment and physical massage and just mere motivation. They will come in and go out and flush out like the menstrual period, and nothing will happen. Next time you build a school, or you probably have a school, and those of you that are watching me from around the world, or you have a training center, turn that into a womb for incubation. Let the students be the egg, but what you fertilize them with, the kind of knowledge you fertilize them with, is what will trigger the process of metamorphosis. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your minds. When people walk in, and the pastor, the teacher, the apostle, the evangelist understands why God put him there. Don't tell cock and bull stories. Get a revelation from heaven that carries the image of God, because God's seed carries his image. It carries his nature, just like a man's seed carries the DNA. And fertilize the people that walk through that door. Fertilize the people with revelation knowledge. Then, it is not mere egg that they come for, because your egg is your hope. Your egg is your expectation. Your egg is your dream. But you see how many dreams that are flushing down the toilet, flushing down every month. Each of those menstrual cycle has a capacity to be a child. You see how many dreams that are flushing down. Your egg is your aspiration. Your egg is your desire. There is something you're so yearning for. You want to be better. Your egg is that dream to be a better person, to be a better husband, to be able to produce, provide for your family. Your egg is that dream to buy that car, to build that house. But hope is the mother. Faith is the father. When hope and faith fertilizes, you create possibilities, miraculous. I don't think you heard me. Bible says faith is the substance of hope. So you need two things to create miracles, to create possibilities, to create new beginnings, to create transformation. You don't just need egg. You need the sperm. So faith is the husband of hope, and hope is the wife of faith. What you need to come to God is a dream. What you need to come to God is a desire. What you need to come to God is an aspiration. But you can come to God with a need and a sense of need. But that will not change anything till you tap from him a spoken word, a rhema word, a revelation word, a light. God, who commanded light to come out of darkness, has impregnated our soul with the light of the revelation of the knowledge of Christ. Not a revelation of your circumstances. That is where you start. You have done problem analysis. Now you have to tap into breakthrough. Tap into genius, the higher genius. There is more to you than just the conscious mind that just sees problems and all of that. There is another. And even through, there is a creative genius inside man, hiding inside that darkness that needs to be exploded.